Assalamu alaikum. 1 p.m. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Sumaira Kamal. The headlines first. Prime Minister has called on United Nations to urge India to immediately lift the inhuman curfew in occupied Kashmir, continuing for over 50 days, and release all the political detainees. UN Secretary General has reiterated his deep concern over human rights and humanitarian situation in Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. US lawmakers have urged Indian Prime Minister to address concerns over human rights situations in occupied Kashmir and end communications blackout in the territory. Polling is underway in presidential election being held in Afghanistan today. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan has called on the United Nations to must intervene and urge India to immediately lift the inhuman curfew in occupied Kashmir, continuing for over 50 days, and release all the political detainees, including the youth. Addressing the UN General Assembly session in New York, he said the United Nations and the world community have a responsibility to ensure that Kashmiris get their right to self-determination as enshrined in several UN Security Council resolutions. Imran Khan warned of serious consequences of a war between the two nuclear-armed countries and said that the all-out conflict between the two nuclear-armed nations would have consequences beyond their borders. Imran Khan said the incumbent Indian government is a follower of RSS, which has its basis on hatred against Muslims and Christians. Highlighting Pakistan's role against terrorism, the Prime Minister said the country acted as a frontline state in the war against terrorism. We rendered sacrifices of over 70,000 people and suffered an economic loss of $150 billion. Special Assistant on Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Firdaus Ashik-Ewan, says the worldwide admiration of Prime Minister Imran Khan's speech at the UN General Assembly session is evident to the fact that he has succeeded in Mission Kashmir. In a tweet today, she said that the Prime Minister presented with full force the case of oppressed Kashmiris at the world's highest forum. Prime Minister Imran Khan says the world needs to understand the gravity of human rights situations after the curfew is lifted from occupied Kashmir. In an interview with senior correspondent of CNN, Christian Amanpour, he said the enormity of the situation can be gauged from the presence of the 900,000 troops in the held territory. Replying to a question, the Prime Minister said President Donald Trump heads the most powerful country in the world and it is in the best position to do something about the issue of Kashmir. About Afghanistan, the Prime Minister told the senior CNN reporters that Pakistan is not responsible for US not succeeding in Afghanistan. Imran Khan said there is no military solution to Afghan conflict. Pakistan has supported the dialogue process and it hopes that the talks process will resume. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has reiterated his deep concern over the human rights and humanitarian situation in Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. He was talking to Prime Minister Imran Khan at the UN headquarters in New York. The UN Secretary General reaffirmed that he would remain engaged on the issue and conveyed that his offer to help facilitate a peaceful solution continued to stand. 14 US lawmakers have urged Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address concerns over the human rights situation in occupied Kashmir and lift the communications blackout in the territory. The joint statement issued by Indian-American lawmaker Pramila Jayapal along with 13 other US Congress members said the imposition of media blackouts starting August 5th left millions in Kashmir without access to mobile phones or the internet while many others have been detained. As a result, family members in the United States and elsewhere are unable to contact their relatives and family members in occupied Kashmir, leading to concerns about their welfare. Pakistan Navy ship PNS Alamgir visited the Jeddah port of Saudi Arabia, where it was accorded a warm reception. The commanding officer of PNS Alamgir met with the Deputy Western Fleet Commander of Royal Saudi Naval Forces and discussed maritime cooperation between the two countries. In Afghanistan, polling is underway to elect the president. Over 9 million Afghan registered voters are casting their votes across the country. 14 candidates are registered, but incumbent President Ashraf Ghani and his former deputy Abdullah are also the major contestants. Tens of thousands of Afghan security forces have been deployed to provide security to the polling stations across the country. The second match of the three-match one-day series between Pakistan and Sri Lanka will be played on Monday at National Stadium, Karachi. The first match of the series was cancelled due to heavy rain yesterday. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and also watch live streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/radio, Pakistan News Official.